Hello everyone. It is now time to showcase week 2 of the PAC League. My opponent for this match is going to be Arcaniner 52, representing the West Texas Arcanines team. Now this is also a new opponent, so obviously there's not much to say other than hopefully we win and hopefully we can actually, get a good score in the outcome. So anyways, my opponent here has this team. It's pretty scary considering he has an Empoleon, has a Salamence, Gengar. The top three are not really the scariest things here. It's really the latter three, because those three actually can really do stuff. It's been proven in previous matches that I've done in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl so far. My team here, as you can see, I'm finally actually gonna bring out the Rain Core myself, because as you can see, like, I actually decided to take a page out of Esventhun's draft and actually put some of the Rain Core onto my team, particularly the Pelipper and the Ludicolo. And we're gonna see if we can actually make something work against this guy. Like, this is the first match where we actually experiment with it. We may not use this team in all of the matches, but this is just like the backup plan, honestly. Like, in case there's some opponent that's giving me a hard time with just regular monsters that don't involve the Rain Core. So we're gonna see if we can actually do well with it, and if we can actually use the core pretty well, then we can possibly use it in future matches more frequently as opposed to not. Otherwise I'd have to make other other types of improvisations, I guess you can say. I don't know how to say it honestly, but bear with me on that. Okay, so here we go. So the opponent is gonna lead off with a Claydol. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna lead off with Garchomp, which is good for me, because this time, unlike last week where I actually did not have Crunch on this damn Garchomp, now I do. And I double checked this time. I have Crunch on Garchomp. Now this allows me to just go for it straight up on this Claydol, because it's super effective. This thing is Psychic type. And I do get the defense drop, but that doesn't matter because I 2-hit KO this thing anyway. He is going to get the Rocks up, which is fine with me, at least for now. Because now he is going to get punished for setting up those rocks, because we're going to either go for Crunch here right now, and we're going to either take out this Claydol, or he's going to switch something in, and then I'm going to get damage on that, obviously. Even if he sends in Mence, and I actually get, attack dropped and whatnot, I can still switch out into Armaldo, and if he sets up like a Dragon Dance or something, I just sack it, or if I take a hit, I can just hit it with a Rock Slide or Stone Edge. I don't remember what I put on the Armaldo, but there's definitely a rock move in there somewhere though. Here the opponent's thinking of what he can do, because even he realizes that he's getting punished for setting up those rocks in the first place. He decides to stay in ultimately, and now he's going to get crunched to death, and down goes the Claydol, which is good for me. I believe here what he's going to end up sending in afterwards right now is going to be the Salamence, because obviously Salamence, well, it usually depends, because if it's Scarfed, then obviously he could try to be running like a Moxie set, but if it's not Scarfed, then it most likely can be Intimidate, which would allow it to take a Dragon type move, honestly, at full HP. So with that in mind, obviously I didn't want to stay in, and I actually make that wise decision of sending in Armaldo, which is probably the only one that can really switch in on the Salamence, at least to take a hit, see what he goes for, and then actually try to attack it on the off chance he tries to set up or something, thinking I'd over predict or something, But yeah, I do take rocks damage because he did get the rocks up, so that's good for him. He is going to go for Draco Meteor though, so it's not exactly what I was expecting from the Salamence. I was expecting a Dragon Dance, but this one actually had a Draco Meteor. So it kind of makes me wonder, is this a special attacking Salamence, or maybe even a mix attacking Salamence? It is a Life Orb set, so that confirms that it's not Scarfed, which is good for my Garchomp, because now I can just send it in, Dragon Claw, and force him to switch out numerous times. I'm going to go for, I believe, the Rapid Spin, because I feel like this thing does go down regardless, and seeing the Draco Meteor kind of makes me feel like it's probably not a Dragon Dancing set. So, in fact, the Fire Blast even confirms it even further, that this was more or less a special attacking Salamence, as opposed to a physical attacking Dragon Dancing set. So that's actually good for me. Life Orb damage, but with the -2 it does literally nothing, which allows me to send in Pelipper here. I think I could have just sent in Garchomp and just spammed Dragon Claw, honestly, but I kind of wanted to try the Rain Core, honestly, just because this is what I feel I may need if I make the playoffs, honestly. So yeah, here the Drizzle, obviously set up a Rain, And now if I send in Ludicolo, it can do all kinds of madnesses. Because I think my Ludicolo can cover a lot of his team, actually. With the possible exception of Toxicroak, actually. Because Toxicroak is immune to the water moves if it has the Dry Skin ability. Which most likely it will have, because, you know, this is a Draft League. And Draft Leagues you can actually counterpick, you know. Or, you know, build your team around what I have. And basically, if I have something that, you know, can cover it, then he can, you know, find ways to cover my team in return, you know. But anyway, so my opponent here, once again, even he knows that the Rain team is a threat, and obviously he's probably thinking, what can I do? He does end up switching it out, which is okay, it's fine with me. He's gonna send out Empoleon, which I'll be honest with you, it kind of makes me feel that I probably might have made a mistake here. But one of the reasons I sent in the Pelipper was not only to get the Rain up, but it was also so that I can defog these rocks away, because I know for a fact I'm going to be switching out a lot, so I don't want to keep getting punished for switching. Now the Rain is up though, and obviously I don't want to have to you know, like waste it in a way. So what I'm going to do here is go for Scald. I think he also went for an Agility. Yeah, he goes for the Agility right here, which puts him at +2 speed, which is scary, especially because the Rain is up right now. So yeah, like I went for Skull at first just because I wanted to see how much damage I do to the Empoleon, and it does do a fair amount for a resisted hit, honestly. So I go for it again, and the goal is really just to get a burn. And this is on the off chance that like this Empoleon takes out my Pelipper and just manages to start sweeping me or something. I can chip it down with the burn at least. And the more damage I get, like the later I get the burn, the better for me, because it'll be low by the time the burn starts kicking in, and he won't be able to sweep me with Empoleon in that scenario. So yeah, I think I might have actually gone for the U-turn if he actually did not go for the Agility, but because I saw the Agility, I was like, you know what? Because I was just gonna go for a Scald and then a U-turn, but then I was just like, nah, you know what? Never mind. Let's just keep going for Scald. Now here he's gonna go for the Ice Beam, and he does get the freeze, but thankfully I have Scald, so I don't have to worry about freeze hacks. And in a way, in fact, if I had Surf or Hydro Pump on this Pelipper, on God, I'd probably be done for right here. But thankfully, I was a little smarter than that, and I actually packed it with Scald, so in a way, to somewhat predict the hacks in a way. But yeah, so here I'm gonna hard switch into the Ludicolo, because I saw Ice Beam, so I was thinking, you know what? Seeing how well the Pelipper took it, maybe with Ludicolo I can take it better. Plus the Rain is up, so I wanted to see if I can actually outspeed this Empoleon even at +2 speed with the, you know, Agility up and whatnot. So I take my chances and just go for the Giga Drain. I also think I had Skull on this Ludicolo as well. I don't remember, I didn't pay attention to my moveset here, but I think I did have Skull on this too. So even if he got the freeze hacks, I think I might have been able to actually, you know, thaw out. I think that was one of the reasons I confidently sent this thing in. But I'm not sure, I might have actually had Surf, who knows. You fellas would know since you probably saw it right now. But yeah, Giga Drain. Thankfully it's enough to take out this Empoleon. And now we gotta see what he brings out afterwards here. I think he brings out the Toxicroak right here. Because like I said before, that's like the one thing that could handle Ludicolo. Because it's immune to any water move if it has the Dry Skin ability. It also resists Giga Drain for being a poison type. And Ice Beam, yeah, it may not take it very well, but I think it's still like good enough to, you know, for it to, it's good, like it can take a hit and then it just retaliate with a Poison Jab or a Drain Punch, depending on what he feels like going for, honestly. He does go for the Toxicroak, in fact. I think here I might actually switch out. And I decide, I believe, to switch into, I believe, the Drapion. Either that or the Garchomp, one of the two. Because I think I was anticipating a Poison type move over a Fighting type move. So I send in Garchomp, okay. Because if he does go for a Fighting type move, I want to believe that I can actually take it and then retaliate with an Earthquake. I think even Dragon Claw would be enough to take it out, I think. Because, you know, Garchomp is Garchomp and can do a lot of damage with any move, really. Does go for the Poison Jab. Thankfully, it's not the Fighting type move. Also worth noting is that this Toxicroak definitely doesn't get Ice Punch in this game, so I didn't have to worry about that as well. So the worst thing this thing could have done was probably get a crit Cross Chop on me. But he just went for the Poison Jab, and that's fine with me. Gets Rough Skin as well, like damage as well. I think because of the rough skin damage is the reason why I might have actually gone for the Dragon Claw here, actually. And I do believe he stays in. The reason I didn't go for Dragon Claw was probably because I didn't want to... I think the Salamence was still here, so I didn't want to, like, you know, risk it coming in. Because I am Choice Scarf on this Garchomp, so if I lock myself into Earthquake, that'd be pretty bad. My opponent's thinking of what he wants to do here. I think even he knows that he's in a tight situation because not a lot appreciates Garchomp. So he does send in the Salamence. He was anticipating my Earthquake, which was what I was considering, but I ultimately decided to go for the Dragon Claw because of the rough skin damage done to it prior. I wanted to believe that after that damage I would have been able to take it out, because I felt like from full HP it would have probably been at red if it was invested in any form of bulk. But after the damage taken from rough skin, I wanted to believe that I could just take out the Toxicroak with Dragon Claw. But as you can see, he just ends up sending in the Salamence, probably to just get the Intimidate so that I can take it out afterwards with the Dragon Claw, and then take me out in return, which obviously I'm not going to do. For whatever it's worth though, oh yeah, no, because it had Draco Meteor, no? Draco Meteor definitely takes out Garchomp. But yeah, okay, so Drapion comes in. I switch it in because this thing could go for Shadow Ball and do a lot of damage. And that's exactly what it does, and it doesn't do a lot, thankfully. I might have actually invested in some Spadef on this Drapion in order to take hits very well from special attackers, especially if he resists these special attacks. I stay in here just to go for the knockoff. If he switches it up to Dazzling Gleam or Thunderbolt, I want to believe that I could take it. And if he switches out, then obviously I just knock off whatever comes in. Nothing on this team has Sticky Hold, so I don't have to worry about that. So I could say that I'm actually in a decent position here, actually. Here, my opponent, once again, taking his time to think. There is a lot of time, so I'm not annoyed yet. Because, you know, for me, when people think about their plays for so long with a 20-minute timer, it doesn't bother me as long as I know that it's like, you know, as long as I know that there's enough time for me to actually, you know, get the match done and whatnot. Because for me, the concern is really just that I don't want the match to go to time, you know, because that's pretty obnoxious. Matches feel incomplete that way, and then it leaves a bittersweet in my mouth every time, because, you know, like even if I win the matches, it's just like, you know, I would have liked to have gotten the satisfaction of having the game say I won, you know, as opposed to just, you know, ending that way. Like, I would have liked to have taken out their final ones. Anyways, my opponent decides to stay in and just go down to the knockoff, which is fine with me. Now he has to send out literally whatever the heck he has left. I don't remember what he has left from here on out. I know I took out the Salamence, I took out the Gengar, and I don't think I took out the Toxicroak yet. Anyways, he does send in the Ambipom nonetheless, and I think I stay in? No, I don't. I think I try to preserve differential, I think. I hard switch in Lucario anticipating a fake out too, so I think that was the reason. Because I felt like with fake out in combination with whatever the hell this thing can go, because I still feel like this thing could get Last Resort, and I don't know if that fake out Last Resort strategy still works in this game. Either way, he doesn't go for it though, thankfully. He just goes for the U-turn, predicting me to predict him to go for the fake out, and he wanted to just switch out and go into Toxicroak, which is a good play, quote unquote, because like he could have, if this thing was scarfed, he could have definitely just threatened me with a Drain Punch, but I for some reason was feeling pretty good and just decided to stay in and go for Psychic, so yeah. However, this is the one thing that kind of confuses me here. He turns out to be Focus Sash, so I was thinking, oh shit, he's just gonna Drain Punch me now, right? Instead, he decides to go for the Sword Stance. Actually, you know what, now that I think about it, I think what happened here was that I think he was expecting me to switch out here, not wanting to take a Drain Punch, actually. And I think he over-predicted here, actually, now that I think about it. But unfortunately, that play didn't work out for him, and therefore I just finished him off with a Vacuum Wave. At first I was thinking, what was this guy thinking about going for Swords Dance? But in reality, I can kind of see why now, actually. He probably thought I was actually going to switch out the Lucario, not wanting it to take a Fighting type move. Especially Drain Punch, because that would only restore its HP. However, for me, the thing is that even if I lost Lucario, I still had the Garchomp, so I think it wasn't really worth him trying to over-predict at that point. I think what was important for him is just to get everything out of my team as possible, and like try to get, you know, like try to reduce the amount of differential he loses, you know, in the overall score of the, you know, the season and whatnot. But anyways, here He now sends in his final Pokemon, Ambipom. He went for Fake Out, but joke's on him because I actually had the Steadfast ability, and now I outspeed him and actually get to go for the Aura Sphere and finish it off. Let me tell you that Lucario going for Aura Sphere is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a Pokemon game. I've always liked it since Generation 4 when Lucario goes for Aura Sphere. But yeah, so we are going to win this match 5-0, thankfully, which, you know, it's fine, honestly. Like, it's a pretty decent like score after losing so badly to King Soza last week. It kind of makes up for it, I'd say, actually. I think it more than makes up for it, actually. But yeah, so that's going to be week 2. Thankfully, we kind of redeemed ourselves after that devastating loss last week, so hopefully we can keep it up now. So stay tuned for the next match whenever we get to it. Thank you for watching this match. For now, just take it easy and have yourselves a good one.